Jacksonville's not performing for the camera. It's just being itself. And that's exactly what makes it impossible to ignore. This city's already got a rhythm, and you either catch it or you get left behind. You've got surfers at sunrise on Jack's Beach, murals still driving at 5 points, and shrimp boats in Mayport blocking traffic like it's just another Tuesday. It's beach grit and southern charm with a caffeine problem. Porch swings, food trucks, and Jags fans convincing themselves that this season's finally the one. You'll sweat, you'll swear, and you'll still end every day thinking, yeah, this city sticks to your ribs. So before you call Jacksonville a drive-through city, ask yourself, maybe the under the radar is the feature. I don't always get Jacksonville. I thought it was just beaches, bridges, and Publix parking lots that made no sense. Then it surprised me. The city doesn't show off. It whispers first. Then it hands you the keys. Slow, real, and only to the ones who pay attention. One sunrise surf turns into coffee at Bold Bean, salt still drying on your skin. Then you're cutting through Riverside, music spilling out of Intuition Ale Works like the city's heartbeat. And that's when it clicked. This place isn't built on polish. It's less glossy, more true to life. If that sounds like your kind of rhythm, hit the details. Everything you need's parked there. But hang tight, because Jacksonville's vibe, it's more than just sunshine and sand. Most people think Jacksonville's just beaches and palm trees. Sunshines, golf carts, maybe a margarita by the pier, tourists take, and locals laugh. But the real Jacksonville? It's layered, it's wild, unpolished, and a little unpredictable, but in the best way. The city doesn't perform for anyone. It just lives loud. You smell the salt before you even see the ocean. You hear the church bells echo through San Marco while barbecue smoke rolls over it from Avondale. Shrimp boats crawl past Mayport as the sky turns neon, and somewhere on Beach Boulevard, the First Coast Flyer hums like it's the city's heartbeat. Jacksonville isn't a postcard, not a still frame. Think live track. One of my clients, a Chicago guy, total city speed, moved here last year. Week 1, he texts me a photo barefoot on Neptune Beach, board in one hand, Bold Bean coffee in the other. He writes, I finally get why you never shut up about this place. That's Jacksonville. It slows you down just enough to actually feel your day, but never enough to make you feel lazy. It's calm without being dull. Downtown answers the why. It's not one skyline, it's 8 micro-districts stitched together by the river. The Cathedral District's got Old Soul Sundays, the Villa's buzzing with cranes and energy. The Sports and Entertainment District is gearing up for the stadium glow-up, and through it all, Jacksonville keeps its soul. Those preservation rules that say new builds must harmonize with the neighborhood, that's Riverside, Avondale, and Springfield, still feel like time capsules where life happens on the porch. Sure, it gets hot enough to melt your latte, and the Hart Bridge will test your patience on a bad day, but you'll trade air conditioning for ocean breeze anytime. Because here, beauty lives in the chaos, not the symmetry. Jacksonville gives you your air in your day and fuel for your plans and space to figure out what kind of life actually fits. And that's the part people miss. The city doesn't just hand you a lifestyle, it dares you to create your own. One minute you're dodging sand and flip-flops, the next you're arguing over who's got the best shrimp taco on Beach Boulevard. And somehow, both moments matter. If that sounds like the life you've been searching for, we're the local real estate team of choice. Whether you're moving here, selling, or just testing the waters, you can call us, text us, or email us anytime. You'll find all of our information right there in the description below. Jacksonville isn't just where we work, it's where we live, surf, and build community every day. Let's help you find the one that matches your rhythm here. Jacksonville isn't one city. It's a map of many ecosystems stitched together by bridges, river bends, and attitude. Every pocket here thumps its own playlist. You want energy? Head to Riverside or Avondale, places where the front porch is still the social media feed. You'll catch the smell of espresso and old pine. Maybe a jazz riff floating out of a second-floor window. The architecture's got that lined up enough to smile. Messy enough to love symmetry. Historic rules mean every new build has to fit the street, not fight it. It's why your morning run there feels like time travel with a good Spotify mix. Drive 10 minutes, and it's a whole new story. San Marco is where Italian fountains and Southern manners overlap. People here walk their dogs past boutiques that look like movie studio sets. Then there's the beach crowd. Atlantic, Neptune, Jack's Beach. Over here, tide charts matter more than time zones. You'll see someone paddleboarding at 6 a.m., then hitting tacos on Beach Boulevard before their laptop even wakes up. The uniform is sunburned shoulders and optimism. Now flip it. Mandarin and Southside. Think families, yards big enough for a Saturday cornhole war, and parents timing the commute like game film. It's quieter, easier, but never dull. It's where people build their rhythm, not chase someone else's. And then there's Arlington, the sleeper turning headlights. It's borrowing the Riverside Avondale playbook. Save the character, bring back the mom and pop shops, and build the pride block by block. You can feel the hum under the surface, like a vinyl record warming up. The smart ones are already planting roots here before it becomes everyone's favorite discovered neighborhood. Even downtown is having a personality crisis, but in the best way. La Villa is getting its creative bones back, the Cathedral District's filling with residents, and the new Stadium District, it's about to flip the city's nightlife map. Downtown used to pulse, but only on game days. Give it a year, and it'll pulse almost every night. Jacksonville doesn't have a best neighborhood. It has your neighborhood. Some cities sell you status, but this one, well, it sells you fit. Which one are you on? Are you Team Beaches or Team Riverside? Drop it in the comments, and I'll admit my bias if you do. What's wild is that each of these neighborhoods feels like its own lifestyle, but that lifestyle has a price tag. You can tell a lot about a city by how it treats its schools and how people act once the sun goes down. And Jacksonville's finally walking with its shoulders back on both. A few years ago, the Duval County Public Schools was sitting just shy of an A, but now it's officially there. The district just earned its A rating. That's not PR polish, that's state data. Verified. It's the kind of shift that makes parents breathe easier when they check out the school map. But here's the part no spreadsheet will show you. The spark's back. You can hear it in the pickup lines. You can see it in after-school programs filling up again. Teachers have swagger. Principals talk like coaches. And families are sticking around instead of bailing out the private school. When your school levels up, your whole neighborhood starts to move a little differently. In the safety story, quietly one of the best turnarounds in the state of Florida. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office logged just 59 murders in 2024, the lowest since '95. That's not a headline meant to shock. That's a trend you can actually feel on the street. More porch lights, more strollers after dark. More neighbors hanging out instead of peeking through blinds. Jacksonville's not hiding behind perception anymore. It's confident enough to show its homework. But what really defines the city is its people. Jacksonville doesn't run on polish. It runs on porch talk and borrowed lawn tools. Communities here trade time, but not titles. We loan ladders, not brag sheets. You'll see it every weekend. Farmer market buzzing, a kid's lemonade stand next to a golf cart parade, someone's uncle flipping ribs while arguing about the Jags. And fun fact, some of those Friday night football rivalries pull bigger crowds than a small college football game. That's not just entertainment, that's identity. When a city shows up like that, you know it's got roots. Researchers call it bridging capital. Different people, different backgrounds, actually connecting. Jacksonville nails that. It's why Riverside and Mandarin feel so magnetic. They don't just look like community, they act like it. One couple I work with summed it up better than anyone else. They said, "We didn't buy for square footage, we bought for the sound of kids laughing in the yard next door." That's the Jacksonville blueprint. A city that lets you breathe and belong at the same time. Of course, that feeling, safety, schools, and community, it's priceless, but it's not free. Jacksonville isn't becoming something new. It's remembering what it was meant to be. You can see it in the cranes on the riverfront, the hum of the welders down in La Villa, in the smell of the sawdust mixing with barbecue smoke near Brooklyn construction sites. The skyline isn't just taller, it's busier, messier, louder. And that's the sound of a city building its confidence. The Cathedral District's getting its groove back with residents filling lofts that used to echo empty. Riverside Avenue's traded blank parking spots for patios buzzing with local music. Down by the stadium, what used to be once-a-year tailgate zone is evolving into every single week ritual. The whole core is pulsing again, and this time it's not just football fans showing up. Part of that comes from the serious anchors. You've got the University of Florida graduate campus breaking ground in La Villa, Jacksport running at full throttle, in the Stadium of the Future deal, locking in 30 years of big events. Economists call that a three-engine flywheel. Logistics, talent, and placemaking all spinning together. Translation? Jobs are stable, creativity's local, and the city's heartbeat is finally synced into its size. The trifecta that moves the skyline. When Jacksonville crossed the 1 million mark, something shifted. That wasn't just a population milestone, it was a mindset upgrade. The city used to apologize for its sprawl, but now it's owning it. Attitudes snapped into place. You've got families realizing they don't have to move out to move up. Creatives and business owners are planting roots in neighborhoods that used to be considered in transition, because transition is the point now. Growth isn't about chasing the next hot zip code. It's about building the one you want to stay in. And here's the cool part. You can measure the progress in numbers. GDP, rent growth, cranes per square mile. But the real proof is still the daily rhythm. It's in the art walks spilling into the streets. It's the kids skating under overpasses that used to be dead zones. It's hearing a local band tune up while the river breeze cuts the heat just enough to remind you why you never left. This isn't hype. It's less buzzword, more boots on concrete. And if you've been watching the skyline change and wondering whether this kind of momentum raises the cost of calling Jacksonville home, well, that's exactly where we're headed next. People love to brag that Jacksonville is affordable. Sure, but compared to where? Because this city can be both a steal and a budget trap, depending on what block your U-Haul lands on. HUD's 2024 data backs that up. Rents and vacancies aren't moving in sync anymore. Nassau and the beaches are acting like Miami's ambitious cousin, while Arlington and parts of Northside are quietly softening. Same skyline, totally different realities zip code to zip code. You notice it everywhere. A $2,800 beach rental with a salt air rusted porch versus a $1,750 riverside duplex where the yard smells like roasted beans from the corner cafe and you can walk to the farmer's market. Both scream Jacksonville. One just burns through your budget faster. The UF Schimberg data shows rents cooled off after 21-22 freeze, but the squeeze didn't vanish. It just migrated. Hot historic markets like San Marco, Riverside, Avondale, and Springfield are still magnets, and that charm, it comes with red tape. The preservation rules that keep those streets gorgeous also stretch your remodel timeline. Your contractor says 6 weeks, Jacksonville hears, we'll see you in the spring. But here's the flip side. While other Florida metros are pricing out middle-income families, Jack still gives you some choices. You can chase surf at Sunrise, wander art walks in Riverside, or stretch out under Mandarin Oaks. It's a build-your-lane kind of pace. The trick is matching your lifestyle before your lender. That's not theory. That's daily life for our clients. You don't start conversations with, what's your price range? We start with, what morning do you want to wake up to? Because in Jacksonville, the difference between a house and a home isn't the mortgage, it's the morning it buys you. If you had to choose, would you trade space for surf or quiet for convenience? Drop your answer down below. We actually read every single comment. Here's where the numbers meet real life. Even after all the growth, the average Jacksonville rent still buys you roughly double the space you'd get in Tampa, and probably 3 times more parking spots. That's why smart movers still call this a value city, but not a cheap one, because value isn't about averages, it's about context. And context is what we know best. Savvy spend, not markdown. And since we've been talking about what your money can buy, that shift to what it can't. The real currency of Jacksonville. The people who make this city feel like home. Most people have Jacksonville all wrong. They treat it like Florida's drive-through city, somewhere between like Disney and Georgia, where you grab gas and keep rolling. But live here for a minute and you realize this place doesn't need a headline. It's already a narrative with fresh ink. You hear it in the cranes grinding downtown, smell it in the salt air tangled with backyard barbecue smoke, and feel it when a sea breeze cuts through the humidity. Just enough to make you forget it's August. Here's what people keep missing. Jacksonville doesn't spoon feed you fun. It makes you earn it. That nothing to do here myth? Dead giveaway they've never actually lived here. Downtown Vision's 2024 report shows 8 micro-districts. You've got Cathedral, Brooklyn, La Villa, Sports and Entertainment, each with its own pulse. Friday night art walks spill onto sidewalks. The Cathedral district glows with rooftop chatter, and the block around Intuition Ale Works hums like the city's living room. Jacksonville isn't empty, it's layered. You just have to know how to move through it. Then there's the sprawl myth. It's too spread out, people say. Drive 10 minutes here and you'll cross 4 completely different worlds. Surfboards at Sunrise in Neptune Beach, indie retail in Riverside, Oakline Calm in Mandarin, and late night food truck scene by the stadium. That's not chaos, that's freedom. Visit Jacksonville even calls it out. Every neighborhood is its own personality. You don't just pick a zip code, you pick a vibe. Style first, street second. And the biggest myth of all, that Jacksonville doesn't have an identity. Wrong. This city protects its soul in writing. The official historic design code literally says every new build must harmonize with the surrounding neighborhood. That's not a slogan, it's policy. It's why Riverside feels like a postcard and Springfield looks like a storybook from 1910. Meanwhile, ambition's rising with the tide. Jacksonville is grit and grace in the same sentence. We'll kayak at sunrise, grind at noon, and tailgate at dusk. We've got shrimp boats, startups, and stories on every block. We're not trying to be Miami. We're fine being misunderstood until people catch up. Because here's the truth. The city doesn't need permission to be great. It just needs people who see what's already here. And that's exactly where we're headed next. To the people who give the city its heartbeat, its weirdness, and its warmth. The neighbors, the shop owners, and the beach runners who make Jacksonville feel like home. Jacksonville isn't the kind of city you talk about. It's the kind of city you live in. It's gloriously imperfect. The kind of place that shows its heart through the cracks. Grace leaking through the rough edges. You'll find a little salt on your windshield, a little grit under your nails, and sunsets that look like they were made for second chances. You can scroll 100 posts about why people are moving here, but none of that hits until you're sitting on your own front porch, drink in hand, feeling that late afternoon heat. Finally break thinking, yeah, this just feels right. Just last week, a couple from Chicago told us we came for the weather, but we stayed for the people. That's the part Zillow can't show you. One day it's novel, the next, it's yours. If you're feeling that pull, that I could see myself here spark, reach out. We're the local Jacksonville real estate team of choice, and this is what we do every day. Help people find not just a house, but a fit. The kind of place where your life finally lines up with your address. So if you're ready to explore what that could look like for you, you can call, text, or email us anytime. You'll find everything waiting in the description. Tap what's easiest, and we'll meet you there. And before you head out, cue up our So You Think You Know Jacksonville playlist. It's loaded with neighborhood deep dives, lifestyle secrets, and stories even locals get wrong. You'll walk away knowing exactly where you belong in this city. Because around here, moving isn't just about finding a new place, it's about finding your place. In Jacksonville, it's already saving you a seat. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.